Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And in the interest of time, please allow us to extend by maybe 10 minutes because we still need to listen to our investors. And if Chris is here, Chris, are you here? I think we will give the judges 30 seconds each for their remarks, final remarks. And then we listen to Chris Mara, who is a successful startup who's raised funds. And then we can listen to our investors as well. Chris, are you around? Caro, you will give your comment when you are doing your final remarks. Thank you. Chris, are you here? Welcome. Chris, if you are here, you can raise up your hands, or you can just be on standby so we can start with the final remarks from the judges.
Yes, I'm here.
Yes, we can start with the Caro. Caro, you can start us off. Final remarks.
Okay, so thank you all of the panelists, of the presenters. I know it's not always easy to come out and share, especially in the virtual environment, but you did so. Well done. I think a big thing really is to get to the nuts and bolts of your pitch, of any pitch. It's important to articulate your business model. It's important to also talk about the market, and it's good to have your research backed up. The figures that you're sharing about your market backed up by data. So you need to say what's your source. Is it the economic review, etc.? I think another important thing that has been mentioned is the importance of your scaling plan. For instance, Emily, you are talking of now having 156 users and 12 paid clients. One, what is your ask? That didn't seem to come out clearly. But two, how are you then planning to scale if you get the funding that you're looking for? That's very important because it ties into revenue and by extension, profitability. Another question is also really articulating your market. For instance, like for therapy, there's a comparison. There's always that tussle between live to virtual. And so really speaking to that in terms of attracting more clients. But overall, I think it's really about articulating in a way that is very clear, very succinct, and easy to understand. So I think we all need to practice on that and being able to tell your story within the time that is given and to include the key information that investors are looking for. So revenue is very important. Your growth plan is important, but also your business model. Thank you.
Thank you, Caro. Melissa.
Thank you, Edna, and thank you to the entrepreneurs for great presentations. I think it's some of what I was thinking is tied to what Caro said, and maybe putting it differently. Like if you have 5 minutes or 7 minutes to present, look at the information you have and practice. Maybe in front of someone else or with a colleague or a family member that you can listen to, so that even the way one of the panelists said, so that you don't run out of time, you know exactly what you're going to say within those 5 minutes, and make sure you've been able to share all the information you need. And I think it's important for us to just deconstruct what this slide deck, it may seem like a mystery, but what is it really? It's a structure for you to be able to present the story that you know very well in a structure or a way that your audience will understand. And maybe if they're investors in the group, it will help you organize your information to highlight important things that they would want to know. So just know that you're the one who owns the story. So the slide deck is just helping you get a good flow about how to do that. So before you present, make sure you've you're aligned and you've spoken with maybe your coach or the people who are helping you present, just to make sure you have the right content, the right slide deck, so it helps you tell your story in a clear manner. But otherwise, well done to all of you, and we wish you all the best. Thank you.
Thank you, Melissa. Let us take 30 seconds, if possible, the judges. We can listen to Edwin.
So thank you very much for those who have shared their pitches. I do like to appreciate the fact that you have taken a step in the right direction. I want to request that every person who's here, including the participants, to take some minutes or two, or even the time required to just listen to what has been shared by the panelists. There is a wealth of information that can scale you to the next level if you're only able to listen to what has been shared. Because ideally, a pitch should be able to cover most of the things that are shared here. And I'm hoping that, Edna, you can also be able to just put out material for everyone to be able to know how to move their pitch from what it is right now to something better. A lot of understanding around problems has been seen, and I appreciate that. But that's where we start to slowly degrade, specifically because of the skills we need in order to put together the business model and who we need to surround ourselves in order to have the wisdom to put together a pitch that can be a selling pitch. And that's where we find a lot of people missing out on. So you find that you are good in terms of selling an item, but you're not good in bringing together a team or even having the requisite skills in order to ensure that that particular product can scale massively. For me, that's very important. Boots on the ground is also important because it's good to get all the data that's available out there. Some of it may actually be dated, but boots on the ground can inform you relevantly in terms of what you need to do in order to grow your business. Some of that information may actually be dated, but use that as a starting point. The second thing is just to be able to have very clear understanding of your profitability. How are you going to make money out of this? It's good and dandy to share all this information, but profitability at the end of the day is massively the reason why we are all doing business. So have that in play. A previous panelist talked about your story. Your story has to come from within. You have to be very clear in terms of how this can impassion you to stay with it for the longest time. And if you can sell your passion, then probably someone may be willing to invest, even when we're willing to look aside at some of the other things that are missing, including skill. That is my takeaway from this session. And thank you.
Thanks, Edwin. Now the two remaining judges, Anne had to leave us, Esther and Arafat, 30 seconds each.
Sure. Thanks. It's been great listening to your pitches. Anyway, I got two things. One, let's say three. Design of the entire slide. So that's very important. Please spend a lot of time working on your designs. Two, this has to do with your numbers. So when you make an ask, you're raising 1 million, you're raising 100,000, whichever amount you're asking, aside from where you're going to spend it, the budget, also always include the milestones, especially revenue milestones, right? And then third, be ready to present what your business without the slides, right? Can you be able to walk us through the problem, solution your customers are, your traction, how much you ask without using the slides? So yeah, that's my takeaway point.
Thank you, Arafat. Lastly but not least, Esther.
Yeah, thank you. So for me, it's just one, and I'll pick on one particular slide where there was a request for equity at 10% for 1 million USD. When requesting for equity, just keep in mind there's a lot of valuation that goes around that. So quickly, we're able to value Genix at 10 million USD based on the ask that they just requested. So those are some of the calculations that an investor will quickly do just based on what your ask is. So it's important to be very clear on that. Ensure that if you're asking for equity, you already have all the calculations required to support your ask. Otherwise, very well done to everybody who pitched here today. Thank you.
Thank you, Esther. I believe you are ready, Chris. We can give you 1 minute to just share your experience for the benefit of entrepreneurs here who are looking to raise funding.
Yeah, first of all, congratulations, all of you pitching. I know it's not an easy thing to pitch in front of judges. In terms of fundraising is an art. You really have to know what you're looking for. You have to, it's basically another job on the side, especially if you're the founder and CEO of your company. So you have to keep, very meticulous on which investors you want to approach. Are you looking for grant, equity, debt? What kind of ticket size are you looking for? Like some of the judges have said, you really have to know what your valuation is. So if someone asks you, what's the value of your company and why are you giving this, what percentage are you willing to give away for a certain amount of money? You have to know what the payback period is, what the exit plan is, because an investor is not just going to give you the money and not know how they're going to get it back. So how are they going to exit? Are they going to sell out, IPO? Are you going to be bought out? So you need to have all those kind of things ready at hand. The other thing is starting to get yourself familiarized with term sheets. It's not an easy thing. It's very hard to come across a term sheet, but you need to know what to look out for. What's the discount rate? What's a safe? How are you going to structure the investment coming into your company? Because without that, a lot of investors they don't want to do the work for you. Their work is to bring the money and not to help you structure this. If they're having to do that for you as well, it's also, it can turn them off. You really have to know all of these things and keep track. And there's investors who will say, you not now. Also, you also need to keep them informed over time, because there might be an investor out there who really likes your business, but they feel you're maybe a little bit too early. So another thing you can do with keeping them on side is every once in a while, reach out to them, send them a newsletter, send them an update. That kind of thing keeps them informed of your track. And it's not them really track. If you send out a pitch deck, never send the same pitch deck twice, thinking that, I sent out a pitch deck and they didn't reply, so I can send the same. Some investors will keep them and they'll be like, this guy sent me a pitch deck in January, then I got another one in June and there's been no change, and he's still asking for money. So the moment you talk to them, they might tell you, actually, you've sent me 3 pitch decks and I've not seen any change with any of them. So are you growing, or are you just, your business is stationary? So also be aware that every time you send out a pitch deck, try to update it as much as possible. And like all the judges have said, it's simple. Most investors will get, anywhere between 10 to 100 decks per week, per day. So they don't have time to read, especially one with a lot of writing. So every slide should just have the key message. If it's the problem, the team, the solution, so that I can go through, if as an investor, I want to be able to go through a pitch deck in about a minute or two, and then I move on to the next one. If it's taking me 5 minutes, I'm not going to read the whole pitch. So you need to keep it simple, track who you're talking to, even have pitch decks for debt, equity, grants, because different types of investors will want to look at different things. An impact investor might not necessarily want to know about the payback period, whereas a debt investor will definitely want to know when they're going to get the money back. So be cognizant of those things. And yeah, it's consistent. Raising funding is not easy, and it can really drain you, and if you're not well prepared for it. That's it. I think that's my minute.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Chris. Yes, raising funds is not very easy, and that is why we use such platforms to be able to keep learning and get exposure. And so we will go to the investors. Then if we have any burning questions that have not been responded to directly or indirectly, we'll give only one person an opportunity to ask. So we will start with Mr. Zayed. Zayed, you can share your insights. Maybe you should be able to tell us how compelling the investment propositions presented today were. Would you consider investment opportunities own portfolio so that we have an idea of what your thoughts are. Thank you.
Right. Thank you very much, Edna. I've been listening to the presentations, and I must say that the presenters really tried in terms of preparing their pitch decks. A good number of them had very impressive and attractive pitch decks. And also kudos to the judges, the panelists. They gave very valuable feedback that I would recommend all the entrepreneurs in this meeting to take into consideration. Yeah, so just a few insights just to back up the moderators. Number one is you need to know why you are pitching. What is the goal of your pitch? And I believe all the investors, all the entrepreneurs, sorry, are pitching so as to raise funding. So an investor, number one, would want to see how big or small is the problem that you're trying to solve. And as Carol said, it needs to be backed up with some data. So it was good that the presenters started with a story, but then there was no actual data to back it up. So this is something that I would ask the entrepreneurs to work on. And also, how clear is your business model? How are you generating money? And to an investor, he or she would be interested to know whether that particular model is scalable so as to generate more money for them, or if it's something that would just be a waste of time to the investor. So your business model needs to be very clear, and also you need to demonstrate the scalability of the model. And financials, I think Mr. Arafat was very keen on the financials. That's very important, especially if you are pitching to get funding. Any investor would want to see what is the traction that you're currently making, and is your business profitable, or does it have a potential of profitability? And last is what is your ask or the need, your utilization of what you're asking, and also what will that particular ask help your business to achieve. So I think those are very critical areas that all entrepreneurs need to take into consideration. So I want to make an offer, Edna. I think having worked with so many entrepreneurs, and the challenge with entrepreneurs mostly is learning on how to take their products to the market, or to do a product market fit, how to keep their business records and have their financials in order, and also how to pitch to investors. And that is these are things that we normally address through our accelerator program. Our accelerator applications closed on 30th of November for cohort number 4. And I want to give an offer to entrepreneurs in this room, that whoever wants to participate, because we've not announced the list for selected applicants for cohort 4. I think the date is 15th. So whoever wants to participate in the accelerator program, to write to us, to Hazina Accelerator, accelerator@hazinagroup.co.ke. I'll drop the email in the chat box, and we will consider your application. We'll open the application just for you if you are interested to participate. We will get those requests. Let's have them by end of today, and then we'll open the application. I'll ask my guys to open by tomorrow and Friday, so that the form is open just for the entrepreneurs in this room to apply. And for sustainability purpose, the accelerator program is not free. We have a subsidized fee of 15,000. where we also get to invest more than that for our trainers and mentors. And also we have a physical boot camp as part of the accelerator program. And this all requires to be funded. So for those who are interested, I'll drop an email in the chat box. Drop us an email, and then we will open the application for you by tomorrow, based on how many requests we'll have received. Thank you very much, Edna.
Thank you, Mr. Zayed Said, and thank you very much for the offer. Please do take advantage of that if you're an entrepreneur here looking to upskill in this field. So last but not least, we will listen to Alex Lin or Prof. Are you still around?
Yeah, I'm around. Okay, let me just turn on my screen. Okay. I guess everybody has been very nice. So I'm the one who bear the bad news. That's the first part of it. The second part of it is that most of the people has already made some of the comments. I think when the canary is being wrapped in a nice sugar coat, it doesn't sound very piercing. So I'm just going to rip it apart and just show you very quickly. Is that I think our friend from Hazina mentioned about customer and data. This is actually the number one thing that we are looking for. Number one is that I do not know who your customers are. You're telling me that you're serving this, serving the poor guy, the blind guy, etc. But who is paying? Right? It is a school that is paying. If the school is paying, then very frankly, you take care of the school and not the children. All right, so I think that is something that we're laser focused about it, because this is what the investor would like to know. The difference between customer and user are very, very different. All right, so you serve the customer, not the user. And of course, you need the data to validate it. We want a big market. So if you're not able to give me a big market, okay, 14 million, as I remember, that is where you want to scale it. But then where are these 40 million? Only Kenya or outside that? I'm not too sure about it. All right, so it could be Bori, Kenya, because your population is big. But when you're having so many such kids at disadvantage, I'm going to be worried for the country. So the number doesn't jive. All right, so we want to have a big number, because that for all investors, we are talking about big returns. All right, the second one is that, yes, you ask for money. But you have not told me, how are you going to return me the money? What is my ROI? All right, so yes, I can give you money, no problem at all. I signed a check between $10,000 US to $40 million. The question is that, how would I be able to know, okay, how much money am I getting back? No answer there. All right, this is the very first part. Okay, so you have to tell me, by taking me $1, are you going to give me back $10? Well, that's roughly the minimum that we are asking for. Then, hey, then the next question, of course, the follow-on question is that, how are you going to make that $10 happens? By using the money. All right, so you are going to scale to all other places, handling 40 million population, etc. You know, but hey, I got no idea how you're going to do that. And that tiny bit of money that you took, is it enough? What are the actions? What are the things that is validated? You want to sell to 1 million people currently, you're able to sell to 20 people. So 1 million people, how many salespeople do you need, for example? And all these are very, very important information that you should be giving me. And guess what happened is that I think the judges and coaches already asked the question very nicely. But the key problem is that if this is a presentation for the investor, you should not wait for the investor to ask you the questions. All right? So it is a total waste of time. You should just come straight and say that this is who I'm serving, this is their problem, and they're willing to pay me how much for it. In Kenya, Nairobi, how many of them are there? Currently serving how many? Just multiply out. I know the total number already. Right? I need 200,000, $1 million, and I'm going to use it for salespeople, operation, in order for me to achieve the revenue of 20 million in 18 months. It can be very simple. 7 million is more than enough, okay, for you to do all that. All right. So the very, very important things that you have not what's it called, address. These are the questions, and the investor has been very, very kind by mincing the word and being very, very nice in giving you, by saying that you've done well. My answer is that none of you, okay, I'm even interested, because that I didn't hear how am I going to make money. Right, so just as Chris mentioned, okay, the moment the thing passed, I don't think we will turn back. We won't turn back. And if you are good, any of you are good, okay, I'll be dialing you up and private message you and say, hey, come on, let's drop off and have a conversation already. Simple as that. All right, so do not be so-called alluded to, oh yeah, everybody give you all these things is being nice. Investors are full of shit for a very simple reason. Okay, most of the time we don't want to hurt you by giving you very nice comment, and somebody asked for investor contact in the chat group, right? And anybody reply? Obviously no, for very simple reason. We wasn't interested. If we interested, I would have pinged you already. Okay, so sorry, my 3 points taking too long to answer, but I hope that I'm the only one that will probably wake you up. I'll think that the business, in the general sense, you are moving in the right direction, but I think the pitching is not doing justice. So maybe that's the area that you all really have to start focusing on. Okay, all right. Just a word of what's it called, logistic part of it. Usually I allow the participant to flip their slide on their own. So by just giving them a co-host, right, and then let them flip the slide, they can control it. It's a lot easy this way. They can coordinate and synchronize. Otherwise, I will ask them just use, because you're using Microsoft Office, PowerPoint, just record it. All right, record it, then I will just stream it. All right, so there's no interruption. The thing just continue. All right, then reserve the Q&A, so it's a lot easier. All right, then, thanks. I'll go on mute again.
Thank you very much, Alex, for speaking to us the truth without sugarcoating it. I hope we've all listened to Alex, and he says he's not ready to put in money in our businesses, because we also had a lot of questions coming in. Are we going to get money? So the response is right there, but there's also the proposal that you join an accelerator program, the Hazina one. It has been shared, the link. So to all our panelists, investors, Mara, Chris, we are really indebtful, and we are humbled by your presence, sharing your knowledge with all these people. We don't take it for granted. May God bless you. And I believe we'll continue interacting and sharing more and more. So at this moment in time, I am not going to give somebody an opportunity to ask a question unless there's a burning question and you can take 20 seconds. And your hand will be up in the next 1 second. Yeah, okay. So that is gone. Yes, that's gone. So we have an upcoming MSME event. The reason why we decided to give you this as well is because of the uncertainties in the business environment, and we believe that you need some hope. And this should not just come in terms of speaking, but also doing. So we have organized for you at the dinner. We are bringing in academia, industry experts, private sector, entrepreneur support organizations, like where Zayad comes from, so that we can show you the support that you have out here to be able to build sustainable and profitable businesses. As Alex has just mentioned, this could do you a disservice, but I believe even pitching opportunity helps you to learn. So we also intending to do a program for investor readiness, and we'll be doing this in starting next year. You are welcome to also be part of this. So back to the dinner. It is only 2,500 shillings. And for this, we have prepared for you success stories. You'll be listening to keynote addresses, panel discussions, recognitions and awards, networking opportunities, and much, much more. And for today, we are going to offer you 20% discount. So if you register today between now and 11:59 p.m., you will only pay 2,000 shillings. You can pay it through the paybill number 666,920, paybill 247,247, and account number 666,924. Also shared the site where the dinner information is. You'll be able to see our speakers and all the information you may need. Yeah, this is being presented there on the screen. Yes, so we already have some of our speakers have given us information. Some are yet to give us information. Our partners is the Association of Startup and SME Enablers of Kenya, that is ASEC. And we have speakers from GIZ who are dealing with addressing innovation, entrepreneurship. We have investors in the house, and we are also onboarding some of our key financial institutions. One of them will be part of us very soon. So we encourage you to join us. If you have questions, please feel free to reach out to us. And thank you very much. Let us keep these conversations going on. If there's any burning question, the last chance. Any burning question? Yeah, the judges, somebody had requested that you share your contacts. Please also just put your contacts on the chat. I know some of them are also working with Accelerator and some funders like Melissa, and she would be able to give you more information about the upcoming program. There's one that she's currently running, and it also has the funding element attached to it. Same to Esther. Esther also works with private equity. For some of us who have very big businesses, we can also leverage that. And all of us here, the panelists, the other judges, we are very much happy to give you access to our networks if only you reach out to us. So feel free to reach out to us. Thank you very much once again. Feel free to ask questions. Now it is done, but if you want to stay around and ask questions, that's still fine. Yeah, there's also a package for organizations. If you'd like to sponsor your organization, you like to partner with us so that we can give you enhanced visibility around your brand, we can also do that for only 25,000 shillings, which will be sponsorship for 10 attendees. We'll be able to put your logo on our site, and we'll also be able to give you a table where you can display your brochures if you have, and you can also have come with somebody, an extra person from your organization. And we have another package for 50,000 Kenya shillings, where we will also market you through our social media platforms, in addition to the package benefits for the 25,000 Kenya shillings. So we call upon all of you, please take advantage of such opportunities to build your business, create a pipeline for next year. This is where you also meet the investors. They'll be part of our guests. So if you want to interact more, ask questions, these are the opportunities we have for you. Thank you very much. Thank you, Zayad. It was good having you around.
Thank you.
Yes. And we have a feedback form. I don't know if it's been posted. Sorry, I forgot to announce that. So just go to the chat and there's a link. Let's post it again. Let me look for it. I post it again. Please don't leave. It will take you like 3 or 2 minutes, and you will be done with the form. It will help us to improve the next Pitch Fest. Yeah, I've just posted it. Kindly, please do give us your feedback.